Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my top 10 anime, or top 20, sorry, anime openings of all time. So, first off, let's clear this point. You guys know I make these top anime openings every year. I started a couple years back where I just kind of caught up with anime openings in a good portion of the 2010s and all. And then I started making them year by year. That is still happening. At the end of the year, I'm still going to make a top anime openings of 2022. And as such, this list today will not feature anime openings from this year. Just to be fair, as well as to keep my thoughts on these anime openings from this year a surprise for you when that video comes. This list right here will be basically pre 2022. But it can and will include any year within that. Any anime opening is fair and open game. And, excuse me, there's no real rules to this otherwise. As long as it's from an anime, which means it does have to be made in Japan and everything, as long as it's an opening used for a number of episodes, that's the kind of stuff that matters. Otherwise, not really any big qualifications. There can be multiple entries from the same anime, that doesn't matter. And this will just be my top 20. The personal 20 I think are at the top currently. Keep in mind, my opinions change. My opinions change. I might get like super nostalgic for a certain song, or a certain opening might really get to me in a way that I would not have expected, or I might just enjoy it more than I used to, or I might enjoy it less than I used to even. That's always possible. So keep in mind that these lists, certain entries on this list might be from the previous top 10 anime openings lists that I made, and as such, they may not be within the same order that they were in before. But that's because, again, tastes have changed and stuff, and I've grown to either like some openings more or like some openings less. And keep in mind, this is only my top 20. That does not mean things that are not on this list are not good. Because it took quite a bit to cut down this list from anime openings of all time, so cutting it down to just 20 is like difficult to do. But I feel pretty confident in my list at this point, and I think I'm set with what I think are my top 20. Now, keep in mind as well, if it's not on this list and you think it should be, then that's just like your opinion, man. This is my subjective viewpoint based on my tastes in the music, the visuals, and the combination of the two. If it doesn't align with your choices, that's perfectly fine, because it's my opinion. It's my subjective thoughts. It's not going to necessarily align with your choices. There may be some anime openings that are, hell, classics for a lot of people that will not be on this list. There might be some anime openings that just you personally think are god tier and should be on this list that won't be. That's just how it goes. I might have an opening from a certain series, and you might think like, oh, but this other opening from this same series is much better. And it's like, not to me, it's not. Again, media in general, whether it comes to music, anime, video games, anything out there, media in general is subjective by nature. There's no such thing as objective quality when it comes to the quality of media. So in terms of an opening, when it comes to the quality of the song, the visuals, the combination of them, all of that, there is no truth outside of the personal truth for each person separately. And you may agree with some of the options on my list, but maybe not all of them. And that's because it's like we may agree, we may think those openings are good, we may have the same taste in that regard, but then other ones, not so. And again, all subjective. That's how this works. I will say that this will be redirected to BitChute down in the description below, just because of copyright issues and everything with, YouTube, how YouTube is. So in order to keep things safe on the channel, we are redirecting the actual list. You can go in the description below, follow the link to BitChute, and watch the list there, and then come back here and give me your thoughts. I would love to hear what some of your choices are, especially if they weren't on my list. Because, hell, even if they weren't on my list, they might have still been pretty high up. There are plenty that didn't quite make the top 20 that honestly could have. They were that close. But again, this is just based on personal tastes. And I think the biggest qualifier for me as to putting them on this list and them making the cut of the 20 is, does the opening make me feel something? Like, really strongly feel something every time I hear it. Like, even if I'm hearing it out of context, even if I'm not actually watching the opening, even if I just hear the song, will it, like, elicit those strong feelings? And I can tell you, there's multiple ones on here that if I hear the song, I will cry. I will start crying just from hearing the song. There's one in particular that really actually still to this day surprises me that I cry every time I hear. I won't tell you what one it is offhand, but I will tell you its placement on the list. It's number 16. So when you get to number 16, just remember, every time I hear just the very beginning of that song, I cry. And I can't explain why. I don't know if it's just the way it's handled, the way it's set up, the way it... I don't know. I don't know. But that is one of the ones in here that will make me cry every time I hear it. And it's only number 16, so keep that in mind too. Also, just keep in mind that this is based solely on the openings. This list is not based on my thoughts on the shows themselves. In fact, there are some openings that are on this list that I have never seen the shows for. And yeah, you could say like, oh, but if you see the shows, then you'll have more context to the openings and they can mean more and everything. It's like, yes, you're completely right. But an opening can still be very good, even without that context. There are plenty of anime openings out there that will get people to check out the anime just because the opening is that good on its own, without the context. So, yeah, just acknowledge that some of the options on this list I have not seen the anime for. And it's not to knock the anime, I just haven't seen them. But the openings, it's all about that. Again, all about the music, the visuals, how they connect, and just personal connection and feeling towards them whenever I listen to or see them. So, once again, the actual list will be down in the description below. Please check it out and come back here to the redirect to let me know your thoughts. And once again, this will include no openings from 2022. 2022 openings will be on a separate list at the end of the year, probably by December. Because the fall season, the last season of the year, starts in October, but there might be a couple stragglers, so maybe November or December. I don't know. We'll see. And then there's some openings I just don't even know what to count for the season. So it's a good thing I'm doing this just based on the year rather than the season. Because it's like, what would I put JoJo Stone Ocean Part 2 into? Like, that's most likely going to have a new opening once that comes. But that's starting at the beginning of next month, of September. Does that count for the summer season or the fall season? Because it's kind of in between. It's more towards the fall season, but it's still technically debuting during the summer season, so I don't know. Either way, yeah, stuff like that will not be in the will not be in this list. But if I ever update this list in the future, that stuff can be added to it because at that point it'll count for it. So yeah. Like I said, check out the link to the actual list down below, and once again, leave your thoughts here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.